Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video we are back with, as you can see behind me, my 1974 Corvette, and we have a lot of work to do in a very short time frame, and that is because I entered this thing in its very first racing event, and that is going to be drag racing, which is what this car was originally built for. Back for whoever owned it. They geared this thing 4/4 mile. It has the Doug Nash 5-speed in it, and as you guys know, we just put a McLeod clutch in it. The engine's hopped up a little bit, but it has a long way to go until it is ready. And as you guys can see, I have a few boxes of parts here, and this is just few of many that are here to come. And in the back, I have the tools ready to go, but what I need to do to this thing is within the next 4 days is get it ready for the drag strip, and not only just the drag strip, but to drive it about 40 miles to the drag strip and then home afterwards. We definitely have our work cut out for us. So currently this thing, it runs, it starts up and runs and everything, but it has no brakes. What we're gonna be starting off with is doing the rear brakes on this thing. I'm pretty sure the calipers are just completely blown out, that they're just leaking like crazy and not holding any pressure. And as I was looking at this, on the driver's side front tire, I actually saw the caliper leaking as well, which I didn't order, but I do have those under warranty and I can just go to the store and swap them out. The passenger side looks nice and dry, but we'll just see. Whenever this thing sits, the master cylinder is usually completely empty in the back because there's two separate sections for the front and the back. And the back is either really low or just completely empty. So we're gonna get this thing jacked up and start there. But in this box, we have a brand new power steering pump that I'm gonna be tossing in this thing. The one that's in it now is making a terrible noise. It sounds like rod knock, but I took the belt off because I actually thought it was knocking and it went away. So it's just the power steering, but we're not gonna be able to do that today, but we will do it in this video just because I'm waiting for a pulley to come that's set back because, well, I'll just show you guys. Here is my power steering belt, but there is a massive offset from the alignment of the power steering pulley and the crank pulley. The power steering pulley is way more forward than the crank, and what it does at high RPMs is actually flings the belt almost every single time. Definitely got to get that taken care of. There is so much more. I mean, just looking at it, for some reason when the signal wire for the tachometer is plugged in, the car loses all spark and shuts off. So I gotta check the wiring for this. I'm hoping it's not the distributor. And speaking of distributor, I need to adjust the timing a little bit. I definitely have my work cut out for me, but this was such like a last minute thing. So that's enough chit chat. Let's just get to work because we do not have enough time. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. And we have to secure the exhaust because, as you can see, it is completely straight piped on this side, and it sounds like a legit NASCAR. It is way too loud. So I gotta go ahead and secure that. As you can see, I just have a zip tie just so it's not dragging on the floor, but yeah, the list keeps growing. So I just finished up putting on the new pads and calipers on the rear on both sides. But right now what we're gonna do is bleed the brakes. Once we're done here, we'll go ahead and pop the tires back on. I'll jack up the front. I'm just gonna do the driver's side real quick. I'm not gonna bother recording it just because you guys just watch me do the brakes on here and you guys watch me do the fronts when we first got the car. But let's go ahead and get all the air out of the system and then we'll move on. So just real quick before we start, this is what I was talking about before. So the front is pretty good. It goes down a little bit just from the leak that I saw just now, but this is completely bone dry. And even when I did take off the brake calipers, it really did not leak out that much fluid. It wasn't under pressure at all. So I'm pretty sure when I drove this here, it was only on the front brakes and not even a lot of pressure on the front brakes, but it was just enough to stop, so that's good. guys, so the brakes are all blood. We got good pressure in the pedal, but we found a kind of a major issue, and that is on the back side of the sidewall. This is torn. There is a crack around the entire outside of the tire. Now, I don't know if it's just, I don't think it shouldn't be rubbing on anything. I thought maybe it's rubbing on here, but I don't believe it is, and we were thinking that it might be from the brake fluid that was leaking all around, that it might have just dried out the tire, because on this side, it is the same. It's not as like clean of a circle as a cut, but as you see, it is like dry rotted all the way around, which absolutely sucks. But you can see just how wet these tires are with the brake fluid. So that's not good. If we're going to be going over 100 miles an hour in this car, I definitely don't want cracked tires on. It's a shame because these tires are pretty much brand new. So what I think I might do is I have the aluminum wheels that I used to have on my truck. I could probably fit them onto the back. It's the same exact tire, just a different rim. But the tires that are on the old wheels that I have are in good shape. Just the only thing is that there's going to be two different wheels on it, as long as the same thing isn't on the fronts, which I'm really, really hoping, because then, well, I might just have to get new tires, which really sucks. But before we do throw on the tires, I need to fix this exhaust real quick. I'm going to take off this clamp, see if it's even usable, and then just try and slide it on, and then see if I can get a good weld on there, and then we'll deal with this debacle. Alright guys, so we just finished up welding the exhaust, and as you can see, I have the wheel on, and it looks pretty good in my opinion. But we're going to lower it down, just torque it, make sure it fits good. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. It's literally like the same exact sizes. And then we're going to jack up the front, and I'm going to do that real quick. Like I said before, I'm not going to bother recording it, and we'll move on from there. So guys, I know I said I wasn't going to film taking off this wheel and like doing the brakes, but this is so badly blown out. It is actively dripping, as you can see. And look at this wheel, covered in brake fluid. That is really, really bad. The other one is completely dry, luckily. And as you can see, these are new calipers. But like I said before, I do have warranty on them. So I'm just going to pop them off quick, run them down to the store, and hopefully just swap them out for a new one. I'm not going to go ahead and change the pads just because they are meaty still, and I would like to keep both sides nice and even. So let me just pop this out real quick, and then I'll catch you guys back once I'm all done. Alright guys, so I have the wheel all back on with the new caliper all torqued down. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this thing for a little spin, just up and down, and see if the brakes will even lock up. That is way better. Yeah, this thing is running good. It's sounding good. Now tomorrow, now the sun is going down, we're just gonna have to get that tack going, get the power steering in, do oil change, stuff like that. But with that being said, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, it's the next day, and oh, the fan is off. And that's because I've been trying to do this power steering pump for probably 5 hours now. And the line on the back is completely rounded out, and I was actually using like line wrenches how you're supposed to. I wasn't using like a normal wrench, and it is so bad it's completely rounded off. So due to our short time frame, I am just going to put on the new pulley onto the old pump. The old pump still works, it just makes a funny noise, but it still works fine. And then I'll deal with the pump another day when I actually have time, but right now, oh, thank God. Right now, I just took off the old pulley, and as you can see, I have our new pulley here, and you can see a little bit more reach that we'll get with the new one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and toss this in quick. I didn't bother recording just because it's so low down there, and this took forever, but thank God that this is finally off. And as long as we can just keep the belt on with this new pulley, then that's a success. Alright guys, so we are back here quite a while later once again, and this thing has just been fighting me. So you guys last saw that I was taking off the pulley from the old pump, and as you can see, the pump is out. And that's because I just went to the end of the line on the power steering rack and physically took it off from there, as opposed to on the back of the pump. because the issue was that the new pulley does not fit on the old pump. As you can see, this one has a keyway and this one does not. So luckily, the new pump has this keyway and it fits on here perfect. So what I have to do now is just run to the store, and according to online that they have lines in stock for a 74 Corvette. So I'm gonna go run and do that. And also I'm gonna go ahead and change all of the belts too while I'm at it, because this is all exposed, so I might as well just do it anyway. And plus this one, you know, it's starting to fray a little bit, so it's just probably good to do it anyway. So it's already getting late, of course. So I'm just gonna go ahead, run to the store quick, get everything I need, come back, and hoping to wrap this up tonight. Alright guys, so I finally just finished installing the new power steering pump and the new lines, as you can see down here. And then down here I have the new lines installed, as you can see right there. As you can see, the alignment is so much better than before. Actually, I'm not sure if you guys can actually really tell, but it is dead on perfect. So we shouldn't have any issues with the belts flying off now. But everything is all tightened down. I just have to put fluid in it. And the lines are all tight in the back and along the bottom. But I do have to wrap it up here for today because the sun is going down and it's Sunday, so all the auto parts stores are closed because I wasn't able to get belts yet. So while I have everything off, instead of just slapping everything together, you know, I could tonight, but I do want to put all new belts on while everything is off. So with that being said, I'll catch you all again tomorrow as we're inching closer to race day, but this thing is slowly but surely coming along. So with that being said, I'll see you guys then. Alrighty guys, so we are back here the next day once again, and as you can see behind me, I have the 2 belts that we need. So that should be the final piece to the puzzle for getting all of this done. So let's go ahead, throw everything back together, belts on, tensions, maybe put back on the fan and everything else, and then move on from there. Back together. Now I'm just going to put in some power steering fluid, and then we can finally fire this thing up, just make sure everything's working, and then fix the next problem. Good. Let's fire this thing up. Alright, so what I'm going to do is probably just crank it and hope it doesn't start, and then once it's done cranking, I'm just going to go ahead and check the belt. So let's go ahead. Okay, good. Everything looks good. So this thing's been running for a good bit now. We just have some fluid that leaked that's burning off on the headers, but belts and everything look really, really good. There's no leaks underneath the car. So what I'll do later is I'll take this thing for a little drive and just kind of bleed out the steering wheel, turn it left and right, full lock each way. Just make sure you get all the air out and everything like that. The next thing to do is to fix this tachometer. As you can see, it's at 0, and obviously we are running. And I can't plug it in because when I do, it'll do this. Yeah, so it'll turn off the car. So I believe that the wire is just loose under the dash and causing a short. So I'm just gonna go ahead, peek my head under there, see what I find, and see if I have to patch anything up. So I couldn't really record anything, but up in there was just a loose tach signal wire, and as you can see, the tachometer is plugged in now and is running perfect. Go in and out, no problem. So that is definitely a very nice thing to have on the drag strip. That is for sure. So I just finished up doing a couple more things. When I took off the alternator, I accidentally ripped one of the wires in half, so our alternator wasn't charging. Went ahead and fixed that. We're all good there. And then I went ahead and ripped off also the water pump signal wire when I was doing everything down there. So I went ahead and fixed that also. I just checked the brake fluid. It did not go down a bit since we've done the brakes. So I think the next step to do is take this thing for a little ride. Alright guys, so I've been cruising for quite a while now at operating temperature, and it's been holding steady, not overheating, great oil pressure, alternators charging, the steering on it feels great, super responsive, it's not making any funny noises. I stopped a bunch of times just to make sure it's not leaking. This thing, I think, is ready to race. Alright, so I just went ahead and pulled over just because I want to check over the car and just make sure that my thermostat is in fact reading right and make sure none of these belts flip, which they didn't. That's awesome. Just the only thing is I think that the pump itself overflowed a little bit because I did put a lot in it, and probably just when it got hot and when I like started turning the wheel and everything, it probably just built up and burped out a little bit. But the thermostat over here is reading at about 195, which is perfect. It's actually pretty cool. Like I was saying, that's pretty much the main stuff that had to get done for it to be, first of all, able to drive out to the drag strip, and secondly, be safe on the drag strip and, you know, make it home. All the other stuff is just kind of maintenance stuff, just plugs and an oil change, and I think this thing should be pretty much set. It doesn't seem to be running hot at all. If it was running hot, I would consider maybe putting in an electric fan, but I don't think it's really necessary. So with that being said, the Corvette is ready for the drag strip. I'm gonna be running it with 2 different wheels, I'm pretty sure. It honestly doesn't look too bad. I mean, it looks like a drag car, to be honest. And I kind of like how you can see the brakes and everything all exposed. Looks pretty cool. But anyway guys, with that being said, I'm gonna be ending off this video here. Stay tuned for the very first drag race, well, not even drag race, just run down the track in the Corvette ever. This thing was built for the drag strip. The way it's set up, just whoever built this car initially was going drag racing. So let's see what it'll run. I'll be happy with the 13. I'll be very happy with the 13, but honestly it might surprise us because I've never been in any other really car that I know what the quarter mile time is. Honestly, this feels like one of the fastest cars I've ever been in. I've been in a Lamborghini Huracan, and I mean, this honestly feels more aggressive. That's probably just because I'm driving, but we'll see. Maybe this thing will surprise us. Maybe it won't, but anyway, we're going to be having some fun this weekend. So with that being said, follow my social medias. They will be in the outro of this video, Instagram and Snapchat, I use the most. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell your friends about the channel.